This is a review of the Cub Cadet Super SLT1554. This unit is from 2005. It has 215 hours on it. It's had some problems. Nothing I would consider major. There's things I like about it, things I dislike about it, and things I absolutely hate about it. I'm going to go over those. The seat isn't too uncomfortable. However, it's sprung real high. See right here, it ain't even touching the springs. That's just on the springs for safety switch. Okay, so I'll sit on it. And that thing really, it feels like you always want to get bucked out of it. But that ain't a real big deal. It's fairly comfortable. The deck height adjuster works well. I haven't had any problems with it. The brake pedal works alright. I don't really never have to use the brakes, because as soon as you let off the throttle, the hydro stops it. And if you're on a hill, you do have to use the brakes. Usually by applying them, it just locks the wheels up and you slide anyway. But it seems to work alright. One thing I don't like about the foot control is it's developed a lot of slop in the 215 hours. I mean, that's at the point where it's not doing anything there. And to me, that's a lot of slop. It always had some in it, but that's excessive as far as I'm concerned. But it seems to work alright. The reverse caution mode to mow in reverse is a good idea. It works well most of the time. However, I find when it's in that mode and you're bouncing around on hills, believe it or not, it's easy just to hit it enough to turn that off. See? See, now it ain't doing it. See, right there, you just wiggle the key and watch that light come off. Oop, makes a liar out of me. Okay, well. The choke controls down here. Works fine. Your throttle's here. Your parking brake is here. Next thing, has a battery warning light, PTO blade warning light that lets you know if you try to start it with the PTO engaged. Parking brake warning light lets you know if you're trying to start it without the parking brake engaged, and an oil light. The one thing about it, if you notice that LCD display is up fairly high. It makes it hard to read. It wasn't always up this high, but it seems like it shifted somewhere around 50 hours, and it's gotten worse since then. I know it has 215 hours in it because I can look at an angle and see it. However, looking at that, does it have 215 hours, 275 hours? It's something that it's hard to read and it bugs me. That's one thing I don't like about it. The steering wheel works alright. It's developed some steering slop in the miles that it has. It just has a stamped steering gear. So, I mean, it's kind of expected on a mower at this price range. Here's all your warning and information labels. It's very concise. Here's a power outlet plug. Never have used it. However, it would be handy for plugging a sprayer into, but I just wire it directly to the battery. One thing I do like is these grab handles. It's nice when you're on hills. It has one on both sides. I like that. It's nice to have. It's easy to see how much is in the fuel tank. It's easy to add fuel. Has a nice wide opening. That's one thing I do like about it. The reason why there's a bungee cord holding this hood down is probably about 175 hours. My wife was mowing, and all of a sudden the hood popped up. I don't know what the reason for that is, because this cracked. There's only 2 screws holding it in. This one cracked, and that one came loose. I see it's a common problem for the hoods to crack on these. When it cracked, the latch fell off and got sucked into mower blades, so it needs a latch and the hood repaired or a new hood. I'm not doing anything with it. It's like I said, I've seen people have problems in the 2000 series with the hoods cracking. To me, it's kind of unacceptable, but you know, once again, it still mows. It has a 27 horsepower Kohler motor. Runs great, has plenty of power. The one thing I don't understand is the power all go to the blades. It doesn't seem to go to the hydro. If you're going up a steep hill, the engine never struggles, but your speed slows down greatly. So it's like all the power that the engine's capable of, the transmission doesn't take advantage of. Okay, underneath the hood, here's your air filter. It's easy to get at. That's your oil breather. That hose has been almost cracked like that since it was pretty new. I've ordered one, it's sitting in the shop, I haven't done it yet. You have to remove all the shrouding to do it. Yeah, I think you do have to remove the shrouding, it ain't as easy as it looks. Because I haven't messed with it. Well, you may not have to. I don't know. But anyway, there it is. Battery is original, no problems with it. Seems to be pretty easy to get at, can't complain. The hood struts work well. Here's the oil fill cap and the dipstick. No complaints there, easy to get at. The oil drain is right down here. This works well for me. I put a nipple, a street elbow, and a cap on here to drain it right here. No mess. What I originally had was the plastic, no tools required to drain Cub Cadet deal that all our mowers seem to have. I don't like them. They don't work very well. It was a mess. I got mad. I drained all the oil. I got this and put this on. I haven't had any problems with it. That's what I recommend. Fuel filter's easy to get at. I don't think I've changed that. Spark plugs, never mess with those. Seems to be alright. Oil filter, I don't use the Kohler one anymore. I just get a cheap Fram. Seems to work fine. Easy to get at, easy to change, not too much mess there. The bumper broke. It's 70 some hours. We didn't actually hit anything. It just fell off while we were mowing. That's a common problem on these. That's something to me that's kind of unacceptable. It's made real cheap, so that front bumper isn't worth a whole lot as far as I'm concerned. The front axle seems sturdy enough, has grease fittings, works well. The transmission has a drain on it, but I don't think there's any way to easily fill it, so it's really not a serviceable transmission. Hasn't had any problems yet, but like I said, it seems to really sap a lot of power from the engine. Here's my biggest complaint about this mower. The hydrostatic drive belt. By 200 hours it was cracked really bad. Had chunks missing out of it, decided to replace it. Easy enough, right? Well, not quite. You have to remove the Pto Clutch, which is simple. You need an impact driver, or an impact gun. Easy enough, pull the bolt off, the clutch come right off. However, the pulley on the engine would not come off. It's too flimsy to put a puller on. I tried using an air hammer, penetrating oil, everything I knew to get it off. It was obvious it wouldn't come off without damaging the pulley. Well, without taking the pulley off, you can't get the belt off because there's a lip here. In theory, I guess it's supposed to keep the belt from popping off. Well, this lip comes all the way down and around that pulley. You really can't see it too well. It comes down and around. So you can't get the belt off. I tried bending it, still couldn't get the belt off. So I got mad, got my die grinder, cut that lip off. The belt comes off now. So I had to hack it, but it'll be a lot easier to change in the future. People on forums have said that you have to either A, remove the engine to get that belt off, or B, cut the tabs, or C, loosen the bolts and finagle the engine forward. Changing a belt shouldn't require all this in my opinion. Those tabs are stupid. The mower always sets right up. You just gotta always give it a little bit of choke usually, sometimes even when it's warm. Turn the